right, we're on and we're starting the whole video over. We're in Angel Fire at the edge of town where you would turn to go to Taos, and that is precisely what we're doing here. We're in a construction site here, arranging cameras and such. So a little bit of an experiment on sound and picture for a drive. I know that you've seen more than one drive with the Three Stooges here, but you're going to have to suffer through another one if you want to watch this video. And so I have the iPhone doing the scene in front of you, and then this time I have a GoPro that it looks like, Donna, does it look like it's got all three of us in there?
It did earlier.
Does it now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well.
I'm not sure how well it has you. Yeah, it's got you. You're kind of blurry a little bit though, probably because of the sun. We're both blurry because of the sun.
Well, that's not a good representation of the resolution in the front.
Okay.
So as long as it's got our faces in there,
And
I think it'll probably be pretty good.
double glasses here.
So, I think it's only about 20 miles to Taos, but it goes through a, oh, and we do have a stoppage here. So there's always construction here where you need to wait, sometimes quite a while to go, but maybe we'll get lucky.
It looks like they might be starting to go right now.
It could be.
Could be. We could be lucky.
We might get on the tail end of it.
So
if it doesn't cut us off.
it's one way for a stretch, and I thought maybe that wouldn't be the case on the weekend, but it's not. So our luck, we'll see if it holds out that they allow us to go and not stop us before we go through the light. The light's right up here.
Okay, could we be slightly less cold now?
Oh, yeah, we're in the shade now.
I don't. Yeah. So I think we got about a 50-50 shot of getting through here.
Oh, really?
The worst case is that you get right up there and it shuts down and you got to wait 30 minutes.
Anybody behind us?
One person behind us. And I don't know whether it's manned up there or it's on a timer.
Or a sensor.
Or a sensor counting cars.
Well, or could just be sensing cars. A lot of times in areas where they don't have a whole lot of traffic, they'll just leave a side open until everybody goes through, or until there's at least some reasonable gap between cars, and then stop it. Sometimes
I just have this feeling that I've been trapped like this before where it stopped, because I've gone back and forth last year many times.
Well, you've got experience with this one, and I certainly don't.
But it's looking good so far. Oh, it's turning red.
Oh, bummer.
It just turned red.
Oh, that's sad.
So does it look like we'll get through on the next one?
We'll get through on the next one, but it could be 30 minutes.
You would think that they would go ahead and let the whole line go through.
Well, I'm not sure that it's manned.
It's probably timed instead of sensors, which sensors, work pretty well. But
and a lot of times there'll be a pilot car, but I don't think there's a pilot car this time. And like somebody like a lot of times the residents will just go.
Really?
Yeah.
Somebody else is going too. Oh my gosh.
Good Lord. Well, that's exciting. And it kind of seems like if everybody just goes, it's going to keep traffic in the opposing direction from coming.
We don't know that, though. So everyone is going.
That's just...
Well, except that if we're at the end of the row of people that are going, then anybody coming in the opposite direction ain't going to hit us.
Right.
No, I think
Now,
that's
what
all
I don't know is how long the stretch is this year. It's probably isn't. It could be longer or shorter than last year. We'll just see.
And is this approximately the same location?
The same location of this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I bet it's about as long, which is probably why people decided to go ahead and run the light and go, because they're
still
like,
going.
I don't want to wait for 30 minutes. That's crazy, though. That's not something I would do.
So I think it makes sense to shut her down here.
No, it hasn't turned yet.
It hasn't turned green yet.
Never mind.
All right,
There
we're
it
back.
goes.
We're back on. And we've turned green. What are we? About 20 minutes, I think we waited, if I had to guess.
I don't know. I looked at it and then I didn't pay enough attention.
It was
to note
15.
it. Was it 15 minutes? Very good, Sally.
I actually looked and remembered.
I looked and didn't remember. That looks like that could be forest camping, but it's road closed. Oh, no. Taos. I can't say it. It's a residential area.
Ah.
So this is a pretty scenic drive through the mountain pass here. And they've been doing the road construction for, at the very least, from my experience, 1 year. And certainly probably much longer.
Except the fact that they can't do it during winter up here because it's too treacherous. And the ground's too cold to be doing stuff.
Well, and it's certainly a beautiful day,
It sure is.
especially compared to our trip to Morphy Lake, which was all gray and overcast. But we got bright blue skies and fluffy white clouds. And a rapid gain in elevation.
Have y'all ever been on a narrow road where you're gaining lots of elevation and you're winding and all that kind of stuff and have bicycles taking up the whole road?
Yep.
What do y'all think about that?
Haven't had that experience.
Well,
Whoa, that was
What was
mine,
that?
sorry. That was my thing. I didn't have my feet around it. Yeah, it was my water.
I think that it's a case where should they be doing it? Probably not. But it's a little bit like a similar situation. There's a climb coming up out of Bakersfield into Tehachapi that's 2 lanes and gets a lot of heavy truck traffic. And any of the trucks that are going 2 miles an hour faster than the ones in the right lane that are doing 20 miles an hour instead of 65 wing out into the left-hand lane so that they can pass the truck going 20 miles an hour at 21 miles an hour. It's incredibly frustrating, but I also understand why they do it. Same thing for bicycles.
So it's like maybe they shouldn't do it, but they certainly have the right to do it.
Trucks do, well, actually, technically no, because they're impeding traffic. Same thing for bicycles, but, you know, who's going to give them a ticket?
For me, like the bicycles thing, it's like that. I usually find that happening when there's like a lot of people. So there's a bike race or something, but you'll have a row of 3 or 4 that they're staying over far enough to where you can actually get around them. But then you've got another couple who they still have plenty of room to stay over, but they don't. They just take up the road.
Are they weaving, or are they just riding in the middle of the road?
Riding in the middle of the road.
Okay, I usually see them more weaving, which is a way to be able to gain elevation more quickly with less effort.
Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. They shouldn't when cars are coming, but yeah, that at least makes a little more sense. But no, they weren't weaving at all.
Well, then you should just run over them.
No, I don't.
Just kidding.
No points for that. But it's a frustration, and I've run into it several times, probably because I've spent a lot of time in Colorado.
And there's lots of bicycles in Colorado.
There are
too.
lots of bicycles in Colorado.
I'm still stuck on the idea that there's a law that you could charge a bicyclist with impeding traffic.
You can.
What's the law? I mean, you can't expect a bicycle to go the speed limit.
No, but they don't have to impede traffic either.
And what would constitute impeding traffic?
Driving. So if you have a bicycle operating in the middle of the lane at a speed lower than the minimum speed limit, they're impeding traffic.
So if they're to the right in the 25% of the lane, they're not violating the law? What's the line? What's the distinction in the law? That's what I have a problem with.
I'm trying to think of how to answer that. There usually is some kind of shoulder.
Well, like here, there's not.
Right.
So
This would be tough. This would be a case where, no, they wouldn't get a ticket.
I can see if there's
like right here, there's plenty of room.
If there's a bike lane and they're not using it, I can see it. But if there's no bike lane, I'm thinking they have as much right to the road as everyone else.
They don't.
No, because you could cause a miles-long traffic jam if you're impeding traffic when you don't have to. And to me, those signs that have a bicycle on it and it says "share the road," that means for all of us, bicycles included.
If they've got room to not impede traffic, then
they should not impede.
They need to not be impeding traffic.
I don't know about the legalities.
I challenge anyone in the comments to show me a law.
Yeah, I don't know about the legalities of it.
Show me that a bicyclist can be charged under specific circumstances for impeding traffic and what those circumstances are. And we'll just make it simple. Let's just do California. They probably have known to be having pretty comprehensive traffic laws in California. And a lot of bicycles.
Okay, since we brought up California, I have another question. So, something I've noticed a lot in California that really drives me batty is there will be a sign that says end 35 miles per hour. Wouldn't it be a lot more comprehensible to have a sign that says speed limit 50 miles per hour or whatever? Because if you just see an end whatever miles per hour, okay, so how fast am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to go 10 miles per hour or am I supposed to go 50 miles per hour?
Is it a yellow sign?
I don't think so. I think they're white, just like the whole speed limit signs are.
So it's a white speed limit sign. Instead of saying speed limit 35, it says end 35.
Yes.
And I will challenge you, and I will say that it's a yellow sign.
It may be.
Meaning yellow signs are temporary caution signs. That's not you can't be busted for going 21 on the yellow sign.
Right, because yellow signs are...
It's a recommendation, not a requirement.
Right.
So I should know when I see that 20 that I'm operating under a 25 mile an hour speed limit. But there on the yellow said 20.
If I had the fortitude to go look through my pictures, I've got pictures of them. So I would be curious to... It would be hard for me to find pictures because it was from years ago. But
hundreds of people watching the video, so maybe one of them can come up with one.
They can answer.
A white speed limit sign that says end of the speed limit versus a yellow one saying that.
So do you, in your mind, is this your recollection or is this your supposition?
It's more of a supposition.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
Okay. I was curious.
No, neither thing that I'm challenging do I know. I don't know at all.
You're just challenging.
Yeah, I'm just challenging. I don't know.
Well, that's a good.
I believe, and by the way, I went and looked up monsoon, and it shows up in my video what the correct definition is. Because I said this then too. I believe that a white speed limit sign says nothing but speed limit and whatever the number is.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I'm challenging people to put up pictures, and you can't do that in YouTube comments.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
you can
put a
say,
link to a
hey,
picture.
you can put a link to a picture, or you can just say,
Just say-
hey, I'm looking at a picture. I'll believe you.
Ooh, I might actually can find mine kind of easily.
Might actually what?
I might be able to find one without too much problem. No, never mind. I was going to say, if I could think of what year it was that I was there with my mom, I could probably come up with a picture, but I can't think of what year it
So
was.
if anybody hears heavy breathing, that's because I put the microphone down, and Kit's right on top of it.
Oh, the microphone is red. Does that mean anything?
That means it's recording on the
Okay.
microphone itself.
Are you sitting on the microphone now, kid?
No.
No,
He's just over it.
just over it. Aren't you over it, Kit?
He says, I'm so over it. Are we there yet? He says, and Dottie's sitting next to my mom, and there's no room.
Now the tail's on it. You just can't get comfortable quite, huh? No kisses. You can say
Now
hi
there's
to the
some
camera.
residences we'll pass here that I gotta figure have to be summer residences, because I look at the driveways and I go, there is no way you could drive up that driveway in the winter.
You clear it off.
Yeah, most people probably have plows.
It's like this. Like the angle is incredible.
My 80-something-year-old parents still live on a driveway almost that bad. You clear it off. Of course, the neighborhood that they live in, it is, a lot of the people are summertime residents, but they live there year-round.
Oh, you guys tell me what you think when you see these residences.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to point it out.
I won't need to.
Oh.
They're right next to the road.
I don't know about New Mexico, but that's one thing about Colorado, that snow plows are very much in the budget, and that's something that happens all the time, is snow plowing. And even in their neighborhood,
To me, what that does is puts a giant snowdrift at the end of my driveway.
well, I don't know how they do it when they come up my parents' actual road, but they don't
here's
do
one.
that very often. But
Here's one.
oh yeah, that's
No, that's totally open in the winter.
There's worse though.
Yeah. But I mean, like where I used to live when I had the big house, in that community and the adjacent one, pretty much everybody had a plow of their own that they used to plow their own driveways. I did.
Yeah, my dad has like something that is basically the size of a riding lawnmower, and I guess that's what it is. I don't know, and he has a plow attachment for it. And during the summertime, he uses it to move dirt around, because dirt gets shifted around during the winter time, or during the rainy season especially.
Yeah, my driveway was a 26% grade for about 50 feet of it, which was pretty significant.
There's a room for rent.
Wow.
That's where you were born, Sally.
What?
Right there.
That's the room for rent.
That was my mom's. Remember, that was my mom's, my natural mother's. That was her joke on road trips with the kids.
That doesn't look all that dissimilar from the outbuildings around the house where I did live for the first 3 years. The house doesn't look like that. Looks like they got a party going on down there to the left.
Oh my, that looks
Oh,
like
wow.
a RV. No, I don't know. Oh, yeah, you might be right. It might just be a party. No,
Yeah,
that
I
looks
think
like
it's
an
an RV
RV
park.
place.
Yeah, definitely.
It is. There's an office and everything. Oh,
And
golf
golf.
down that way.
I'd laugh out loudly if we roll up on a white sign that says "and 45 miles."
Well, then we'd know for sure, right?
Yeah, we would.
But see, that one says speed limit 45 very clearly.
I have not ever seen it in any state other than California. Ever.
Well, I spent a lot of years in California, and I don't recall ever having seen that there. Do you remember what part of California you might have been in?
Along the coast, more than likely, because, like, I told you, we went to the Lompoc area, and I think in that area there were some of them.
So if I'm pulling my travel trailer in California, what's my maximum speed on any road?
55.
That's a good one.
I did not know that.
I do.
Yeah. Even if it's 65 or 75, if
Yep.
you're pulling a trailer, your maximum speed limit is 55 in the state of California.
Any kind of trailer.
Any trailer, yeah.
Which to me, especially on the interstates, that I think is dangerous, because if you've got, like, say the regular speed is 70, but then you've got some traffic going 55, to me that's kind of dangerous. But I think where it is normal, people just get used to it.
Well, and in California there are also lane restrictions. So in California, on any of the freeways, trucks and vehicles towing are right lane only, and occasionally the number 2 lane, depending on how many lanes of a freeway there are.
Right.
But typically it's right lane only.
And I do kind of like that rule.
Yep, I do too. So even tractor trailers have a 55 mile an hour speed limit in California, which they completely and totally ignore.
Right.
But part of the reason for a 55 mile an hour speed limit when towing is because of the problems with sway induced by improper driving and or just wind shear, wind gusts hitting from the side causing sway. And if you're driving much over 55, the chances are really good, unless you're a super skilled driver, that you could not recover from that. And then take out a bunch of other vehicles too, and people.
I had a friend that lived in Texas, and he very regularly went 100 plus miles per hour, because for him it was cheaper to pay the ticket than to waste the time, because of the business that he was in, and he did a lot of traveling and stuff.
Towing or driving?
No, not just driving a truck, just a regular truck.
I used to do that all the time.
But yeah,
Go 100 in a truck?
because the way it was
Not
just
towing.
a truck like this, not
Yeah,
towing
'cause
anything, just
you
this
run
kind
the
of truck.
risk of getting reckless driving.
Yeah,
charges.
absolutely. I think it's crazy, but in Texas, or at least the places that he was doing this,
The ticket was cheaper.
the ticket was cheaper, and it didn't. If you did it a certain way, if you paid it a certain way, then it didn't go on your record as far as your insurance is concerned. Whereas Oklahoma, if you speed like that, it always goes on your record.
Yeah, California, you can go to traffic school once every 2 years.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
And that keeps all of it off of your record?
It keeps all the points off your record.
Oh, wow. Huh.
And what was really cool for me was, I've had a Nevada driver's license since 2000, and I got stopped a couple of times in California for offenses that would have put points on my license,
Yeah.
except there was no reciprocity, which shocked me the first time it happened, because usually adjacent states will have reciprocity.
Which, by the way, Travels with Dottie viewers, we don't recommend any of that.
I was going to say I avoid all this by not speeding.
Right, and I do now.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
speed.
speed either.
No, I'm like, oh, I think my top speed, even when the freeway speed is like 80 miles an hour, I'll do maybe 65.
Yeah, I will sometimes do 70.
Do you guys remember where it was nationwide 55?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For many, many years.
When I was a teenager.
That was of the era where
I'd say
what's his
younger
face?
viewers probably don't know that, but I don't have any younger viewers.
I remember it, and I remember being so happy whenever we finally got to raise back up to 65.
Now that's a steep one there. That's
Yeah, but you can still plow that. And it's gravel, so, you know, it's not undoable. Although I will admit, I sold a house in the community adjacent to mine that was really high up to begin with, so just the road was problematic in bad weather. And I was going up the driveway, not even in bad weather. It was so steep, and I had a pickup truck. I could not see over the hood of my
that's
pickup truck.
another long, steep one.
And I was just like, well, I hope I'm going to make that turn correctly.
I mean, there got to be times where you're away from home and it snows a lot.
And then you can't get home.
You have to hike up
Yep, that's what
and
you
then
have to
get
do.
your snow plow.
Yeah, and a lot of times people will just like plow into the bottom end of their driveway as far as they can get to get off the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hike up and either shovel or bring their plow down.
I'd prefer not to do that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
agree.
I prefer to chase 73 degrees.
I don't like my parents living in that situation either, but
Look at
thankfully
that house.
they have
By the
wonderful.
way, it's 75 degrees right now
Nice.
outside,
Woohoo!
in case anyone watching is wondering. Since they're
It's
jabbering
perfect.
about temperature, what is the temperature there? Because I'm sitting in New Jersey and it's 102.
And humid.
And you,
Yeah, I'm sorry for all you folks that have the humidity.
Yeah. Y'all can keep it though. Although I am planning to head into humid land this fall.
I think we might have already passed it, but I remember seeing a business on the right here that the driveway was so steep I was worried about making it in the summer in my truck.
Wow.
I think we might have passed it though.
No kisses.
He says, I just thought I'd try. I bet you, Rob, did you want a kiss? I can give you a kiss, Rob. Don't look at me.
Kid knows better than to try to lick me, right, kid?
You mean like that?
Kid. Being a liar out of me, kid.
Hey, what's that about?
Why don't you lay down?
He says, well, I want to come back there with you, but somebody's in my way.
Dottie, are you taking up the whole half seat there? So it's
Round it
not
out.
very scenic coming into Taos at all. But this is what it looks like. There are a couple of roundabouts. The only interesting part really is when you get into sort of downtown Taos. It looks pretty interesting. Last year there was a lot of, on that main road, a lot of construction, which made it rough. Hopefully that's gone. Here's another
Oh,
roundabout.
but I've got soup now. I do. Woohoo.
But if you're, camping where we are in Coyote Creek, Angel Fire, Cimarron, Eagle Nest, this is where, if you need, real services, this is going to be the closest area. I don't know what the population is of Taos. If I had to take a wild guess, I'd say maybe 50
I'd make cool pictures over there.
Mhm.
I like graffiti.
That actually, I think, qualified as art.
Okay, it probably did.
I'm saying.
It was
I
probably.
like graffiti too, though.
Graffiti is art, and
Uh-huh.
in some instances they'll call it art. Some instances they'll call it graffiti. But yeah, that looks like it was hired to be done.
I don't think they have, what's his name, Banksy here, though.
You don't think they have what?
Banksy? Isn't that the graffiti, famous graffiti artist?
I have no idea.
Sally.
I have no idea.
And here's a nice view of the mountains surrounding
Thanks for the reminder.
surrounding Taos. And I think we're going to pass the Walmart on our left here, if I remember correctly. There's a Tractor Supply. There's a Harbor Freight as well.
Oh, all kinds of little places, huh?
I keep thinking there was something I wanted at Harbor Freight, but I can't remember what.
Well, we could always go wander around for half an hour until you figure it out. Or not.
Or
But
not.
we're going to pass everything and just show this main drag here, so you get an idea of what's available in Taos.
Ah, that would be
Just
nice
past
if the BLM
The
office was
Taos
open.
BLM office, yeah.
Although they rarely ever give you the information you're seeking.
True. Hotel Don Fernando de Taos.
And there is the Walmart.
Ooh, that is a little one.
We'll have to leave Sally in the car. She doesn't like small Walmarts.
That's true. Is there anything else here that anybody needs to do?
I wanted to see if there's a PetSmart.
I think I'll have to look that up.
You have a
There's
phone.
a Walgreens.
Dollar Tree. T-Mobile.
There's the Albertsons, and the mail service I talked about is in that shopping strip for the Albertsons.
Is anybody planning on us going to Albertsons or no? I'm only asking because if we do, I want to look at my app, even though it never works right.
And we're getting into the downtown area of Taos here.
Super Save Discount Foods. Isn't that the same as what was in Las Vegas?
I think so. Ooh, there's a farmer's market or something going on.
Oh, cool.
It is farmer's market. I see a sign for it.
Even better.
I think this city is quite a bit bigger than it was last time I really was in this area.
And so downtown, there's a lot of Kit Carson related stuff. Pretty sure there's a museum. And this is where the construction maybe is still here a little bit. Yeah, road narrows. So they're still doing a little construction.
Over here on the left must be a through hiker. Got a big pack.
A picked up a guy I thought was a through hiker in Tehachapi a number of years back. Had a big pack. He also had a cat on top of his pack, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Turned out he wasn't a hiker; he was homeless.
Oh wow.
And at first he wasn't, he wasn't saying anything. And then I took him to one of the hiker havens.
Yeah.
And he said, I gotta tell you the truth. Nice guy. So I just took him up to the what's the Dollar General? I think. Not Family Dollar.
So I think they have some pretty stringent sign restrictions in this town. You notice there was no Walmart sign.
Yeah.
And you see there aren't a lot of big signs for businesses on this thoroughfare.
That's true. Gunslingers. I bet that's a bar. No, guns and ammo.
Duh. I thought it said cheese something at first from back a ways.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, maybe it's a bar. Nope.
Yeah, this is the sort of traffic that I remember from last year. Every time I came into town, it was like this.
Ooh, rethreads.
Yeah, this is the second thrift store I've seen so far.
Here's the Smiths.
Smiths is a decent. No, Smiths is kind of expensive, aren't they?
But that's where we got the T-bones.
Oh, maybe we should go check out.
Maybe we should check out Smiths. Yeah.
Smiths is basically the same as Kroger.
I should look and see.
Same company.
I think I've got an app for that.
Isn't Albertsons also
Smiths.
a Kroger derivative? No, it's Albertsons.
Albertsons
Lucky's.
is Safeway.
Yeah,
also.
Albertsons, Safeway, Lucky, and.
But I've been able to deal with the Safeway app, but the Albertsons app never works correctly.
App is awful.
It never works correctly for me.
Smiths is here where I had an awful experience in the pharmacy.
I don't have enough signal to do anything. I've got like 3 bars. What about Smiths? I'm sorry.
So I needed an over-the-counter medication that I could not find. And so I went to the pharmacy to ask where it was, and the woman was like behind the register there. It was $12.55, and I started asking her questions. She put her hand up and she pointed to the sign. I'm not on duty until 1. And I said, well, I just want to ask a question. She goes, nope, 1 o'clock.
Wow.
So I went and found a grocery person and told him the story, and he said, come on, I'll help you.
And if she wasn't on duty until 1 o'clock, why was she standing there?
Or why couldn't she just answer my question? Right. I wasn't looking to fill a prescription. It was just that was the kind of attitude I found in Taos over and over again.
And again, whenever I was here probably 30 years ago, it was the same attitude. Very much so.
Well, it's nice to know they've got consistency.
True.
Yeah. So I wanted, last year I was here multiple times, and I wanted to give them a chance, and it just never really happened. The mail place lost one of my packages.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's like, you get a UPS and it shows who signed for it, and they were like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean we really got it.
What?
It's like, that's what that's for. So after we did our shopping, I took both the ladies out to check out the Rio Grande Gorge. It's about 11 miles outside of Taos, and there's a little parking area on this end. If you go to the other end of the bridge, there's a huge rest stop, which I didn't remember, so I would have parked there if I remembered that. So we took the dogs out, and we're walking up to the bridge here, and you wouldn't think there's a gorge here. It looks flat for miles, but wait till you see it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see from here, isn't it? Gonna have to go up top. So here we are on the bridge itself. It's kind of crowded, but it's gonna be worth it. And even though you can't see her, she thought he's right at my feet. I've got her on a real short leash. I'm not particularly adverse to heights.
How y'all doing today?
Hi. But when I got here and I started looking down, I did get a touch of vertigo. And I kept looking at the fence. Is there any way Dottie could slip through there? Just those crazy thoughts. But if you're in this area, I definitely suggest that you check this out. It's totally worth it. You can kind of see what we're talking about on the left side of your screen there, but you'll see it when there's a little platform up here that juts out a little bit.
Got any kind of vertigo?
You get a bit away from the traffic.
This will trigger it.
Point the camera down there so you can see. Donna's already up there. There's Dottie. And there's, you can see the river down there. We're pretty high up in the air. And it's just a shocking thing to come across as it feels like you're driving across the Great Plains. And here's the little observation platform. There's Donna taking a picture.
You thought about it for a second.
Yeah. And there it is. Look at that. Oh, mackerel.
And there it is.
Kind of reminds me
all
of
right,
the Grand
Daddy.
Canyon. There's the Rio Grande River way down there.
Is that really necessary?
There's Donna doing probably a short.
So I got a loud honk through my whole video.
Wow.
They wandered around them.
And then cut them off.
Contemplating maybe going across the street, but I decided
They
not to.
brake
The
checked
traffic
them.
was a little unpredictable in terms of
Come on,
the
Dottie.
speed. And
She's not, I don't think she'll come out.
so I headed back, and after this, we went back. Had a little side trip because I went the wrong way going back, but Donna saved us and got us back on the right track. And
All right,
then
Dottie. It's
visited
okay.
some friends on the way back, and then got back to Coyote Creek. And I hope you enjoyed this video today. And as always, I really appreciate you watching my videos. It means a lot to me. Thank you. See you on the next one.